Tow Rundown Episode 2. Today we'll be talking about upgrading your toolbox, power tools in your RC, wheels, spare parts, and a custom steering linkage guard. Toolbox upgrade. The toolbox I showed you in Episode 1 worked great for a while. However, over time I accumulated too much stuff to fit in it. I found this case at Walmart for under $20. It has removable partitions, so you can customize storage compartments to fit your needs. The lid closes tight, so your parts and tools will stay in place. It's also stackable. This way, you can have your main case for tools and essentials. The second case can be used for spare parts and extras. We'll see if this cheap case holds up. Power tools and your RC. Feel free to use a cordless driver on your RC if you like. Just take care not to strip screw holes when putting screws back in. Always tighten screws by hand. Using a powered screw gun can make taking your RC apart way faster, but can cause damage very quickly if you're not careful. Wheels. Take good care of your wheels. When using your RC in fine sand and dust, make sure to cover the vent holes on your rims. You can use electrical tape or duct tape to cover the vents. Some people even put a spot of hot glue over the vent holes. The same goes for wet conditions. If your wheel is full of sand and dust, it'll get heavy and off balance. Imagine your wheels full of dust and sand. Now add water to the mix. In wet conditions, you'll end up with thick mud saturating your tire foam. This will make your wheels way off balance. It'll also make your RC handle heavy and sluggish. It's a good idea to have an extra set of wheels as backups. Spare parts. Over time, you'll learn what parts break most often on your RC. What breaks can depend on how you drive and the conditions you drive in. Common things to break are drive shafts, steering parts, and suspension parts such as A-arms, linkage, and shocks. Pick up spare parts even if you don't need them at the moment. For instance, you know your slipper clutch will eventually wear out. Just go ahead and order one now. Keep it with your spare parts for later when you need to replace it. Custom steering linkage guard. After installing an aluminum steering assembly, I noticed the steering linkage was now at a steeper downward angle than before. When the suspension is fully compressed, the steering linkage was hitting the ground. This is no good. Since there's no way to adjust this, I decided to make my own skid plate to guard the linkage. I found this old aluminum clipboard. It's perfect for this project. The aluminum is lightweight and it can be bent and cut to shape easily. First, I made a template out of thin cardboard. This way I could shape it until it fit how I want. Next, I traced the cardboard template onto a piece of the aluminum. Then I cut the piece of aluminum out with tin snips. Take a bit of sandpaper and smooth out the rough edges. After it's cut out and sanded smooth, mock it up and make a bend at the back end of your skid plate. You'll want this bend to curve up towards the RC's chassis. This will create an up-curved sled shape that will allow your RC to roll in reverse without the skid plate getting caught on rocks and stuff. After the plate is shaped and formed how you want it, mock it up again and mark 2 spots to drill your mounting holes. Put them as wide as you can. This will help keep your skid plate from moving from side to side. Then, simply use small zip ties to secure the skid plate to your lower A-arm. The zip ties seem to hold up well and last a long time. Plus, they're easy to cut off and replace if you need to remove it to service your RC. Retraction. In episode 1, I talked about the hex wrench size for the grub screw on the Mini E Revo shaft yoke being a standard size 1/16 wrench. This is incorrect. I'm not sure what I was thinking. The grub screw on the Mini E Revo shaft yoke is actually a 1.5mm metric hex. I think I mixed it up in my brain with the tiny screws on the RPM axle carrier pivot ball cups. The RPM axle carriers seem to have a 0.05-inch standard hex size pivot ball cup screw. They're super duper small. Expect more mistakes like this in future episodes. That's it for this episode. Please hit the subscribe button and check out my channel for more fun videos.